Ever feel like you're just drifting along? Just reacting to whatever life throws your way.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Today, we're diving deep into intentional living.
Ooh, interesting.
It's a way to take the helm.
Take control.
Yeah, and design a life that really reflects what matters most to you. We're using some great tips from Abundance Wellness Hub as our compass for this journey.
Abundance Wellness Hub. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what's fascinating about intentional living is that it's not about adding more to your already busy schedule.
Right.
It's actually about making conscious choices. Choices that align with your deepest values.
Okay,
So you can experience more joy,
got it.
less stress.
So it's not about adding more, but about aligning better.
Exactly.
But how do we even define intentional living? I feel like it's one of those buzzwords that gets thrown around a lot.
Right.
But what does it actually look like in practice?
Imagine you're setting sail on a voyage. Instead of letting the currents take you wherever, you have a compass and a map to guide you.
I like that.
That's what intentional living is all about. Taking control of your life's direction.
It's like being the captain of your own ship.
Exactly. It begins with understanding your core values. What truly matters to you?
That's a good question.
Is it spending time with family, pursuing creative passions, prioritizing your health, or something else entirely?
Right. It's about figuring out what makes you tick.
Exactly.
So first, we need to identify those core values. What's the next step on this journey of intentional living?
Once you've identified your values, you can start setting clear intentions.
Okay.
It's about translating those values into concrete goals and actions.
So putting them into practice.
For instance, if family is a core value, an intention might be to have dinner together every night
Okay.
or plan a monthly family outing.
I see. So it's about taking those big picture values
Yeah.
and turning them into smaller, more manageable steps.
Right.
Steps that fit into your daily life.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm sure some of our listeners are thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I actually make this happen?
Yeah.
What are some practical steps I can take?
Abundance Wellness Hub outlines 5 key steps to make intentional living a reality. The first, as we've already discussed, is identifying your core values.
Right.
Those guiding principles that give your life meaning.
Those are important.
We're talking about the things that drive your decisions and motivate you.
And how do you suggest people go about uncovering those values?
Journaling can be incredibly helpful for this.
Journaling.
Sit down with a pen and paper and just let your thoughts flow. Reflect on what brings you a sense of purpose and fulfillment. You know those moments when you feel truly alive and engaged?
Yeah, I get that.
What are those recurring themes or passions that keep popping up?
Those are the things that make you feel good.
Exactly. There are also some great value-based assessments available online.
Oh, okay.
They can help you identify those core values and clarify your priorities.
So there are resources out there to help with this step.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've identified our values. What's next?
The second step is setting clear intentions. Now that you have a better understanding of your values, you can turn them into actionable goals.
So this is where the rubber meets the road.
Exactly. These should be specific and measurable.
Okay.
For example, if health is a core value, an intention might be, I'm going to cook dinner at home 3 nights a week.
Okay.
Or, I'm going to go for a 30-minute walk every morning.
So it's about setting achievable targets that align with those bigger values.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to start small. Even minor adjustments can have a significant impact over time.
Right. It's about building those good habits.
Yeah.
What's the third step on our intentional living checklist?
The third step is about evaluating your current habits. Take a close look at your daily routine and ask yourself, are my actions supporting my intentions and values?
Good question.
Are there any habits that need tweaking?
Hmm.
To align with those core values we identified earlier, this is where honesty and self-awareness come into play.
It's like taking stock of your autopilot mode
Right.
and seeing where it might be leading you off course.
For example, if family time is a top priority, but you find yourself constantly working late or scrolling through social media during dinner,
Uh-oh.
then it might be time to reassess and make some changes.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's about making conscious choices that support the life you want to create, rather than just going through the motions.
Absolutely. And that leads us to step 4, which is all about practicing mindful decision-making.
Mindful decision-making. Okay,
It's about being present in each moment
I like that.
and asking yourself, does this decision align with my values and move me closer to my goals?
So it's a constant check-in.
It's a constant process of checking in with yourself
Okay.
to make sure you're on the right track.
So it's about infusing that sense of intentionality into every aspect of our lives.
Exactly. Every choice, from what you eat to who you spend your time with, becomes an opportunity to live in alignment with your values.
And how do we ensure we stay on track with all of this? What's the final step?
The final step is having regular check-ins with yourself. It's so important to schedule some time for reflection and assess if your actions are still aligned with your values.
So intentional living isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing. It's
Well,
an ongoing process.
Precisely. Life is constantly changing and your priorities may evolve. Regular check-ins help you stay flexible, adjust your course as needed, and keep your intentions front and center. Think of those check-ins as course correction. You're evaluating your progress, right?
Right.
And making sure you're still moving in the direction you want to go.
So we've got these 5 steps.
Yeah.
Identify values, set intentions, evaluate habits, make mindful decisions, and have regular check-ins. That's a fantastic framework.
It is.
But do you have any practical tips, like for
Yeah.
weaving these steps into our daily lives? Making it real.
Sure. Abundance Wellness Hub suggests incorporating simple practices like morning and evening reflections into your routine.
Oh, I've heard of those. Morning and evening reflections, huh?
Yeah. Beginning your day with a few moments of reflection can help you set your intentions
Right.
and prioritize what truly matters. You can use this time to visualize your goals, practice gratitude, or simply connect with yourself, before the day's demands take over.
It sounds like a great way to start the day,
Yeah.
with purpose and clarity. What about evening reflections? Those are a little different, right?
Yeah, evening reflections give you a chance to kind of review your day
Okay.
and assess how well you aligned your actions with your values.
So how to do today?
Yeah, did you make choices that supported your goals? What could you have done differently?
It's like a mini debriefing session to help you learn and grow from your experiences.
Exactly. It's the time to acknowledge your wins and identify areas where you might need to adjust your approach.
I like that. What other practical gems from Abundance Wellness Hub did you find particularly insightful?
They emphasize the importance of weekly prioritization.
Weekly prioritization, okay?
This involves setting aside time each week
Okay.
to review your priorities
Okay.
and plan your schedule accordingly.
So it's about being proactive.
Yes, rather than reactive.
And so about taking a step back from that daily whirlwind, just to make sure your actions are aligned with your goals.
Precisely. By intentionally scheduling time for the things that matter most, you're less likely to get swept away by the urgency of everyday life and lose sight of what truly matters.
Oh, that resonates with me. I often get so caught up in the day-to-day chaos, just putting out fires,
Right.
that I forget to prioritize those things that are most important to me.
It's a common struggle, but with intentional living, you're creating a system that helps you stay focused
Okay.
and make conscious choices that are aligned with your values.
I love that. Are there any other nuggets of wisdom from Abundance Wellness Hub that we should share with our listeners?
They also talk about the power of mindful consumption,
Mindful consumption. Okay.
and this applies to everything from the food you eat to the media you consume.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It's not just about being mindful of your actions, but also about being mindful of the information and influences you allow into your life.
So it's about creating an environment that supports your goals and values rather than one that works against them.
Exactly.
It's about choosing foods that nourish your body
Mm-hmm.
and media that inspires you rather than drains you.
You got it. It's about being selective and making choices that support your overall well-being. Abundance Wellness Hub also suggests incorporating regular decluttering into your routine.
Oh, I love decluttering. It's so freeing,
Yeah. And it's not just about tidying up your physical space, it's also about decluttering your mental and emotional space.
Oh, okay.
Letting go of negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, anything that no longer serves you.
So it's about creating a sense of clarity and peace, both internally and externally.
Right. And that clarity can help you focus on what truly matters and make decisions that are aligned with your values.
So far, we've discussed, those general principles and practical tips for intentional living.
Right?
But I'd love to explore how this plays out in specific areas of our lives.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's say someone values career growth.
Okay.
How can intentional living help them achieve their professional goals?
If career growth is a priority, intentional living could mean setting clear boundaries to protect time for professional development.
Okay.
Instead of just hoping to find time for those online courses or industry events,
Right.
you'd actively block off time in your schedule, treating them as non-negotiable appointments.
It's about making those activities a priority
Exactly.
rather than squeezing them in when you happen to have a spare moment.
Exactly. And it might also involve having a conversation with your manager about dedicating a specific day each week to focus on personal development projects.
Oh, interesting.
Intentional living encourages you to be proactive and advocate for your growth.
It's about being strategic and ensuring your actions are aligned with your long-term career aspirations.
And the beautiful thing is that when you prioritize your professional development and feel fulfilled in your career, that positive energy often spills over into other areas of your life.
It creates a ripple effect of positivity.
Precisely. Intentional living is about recognizing the interconnectedness of all aspects of your life. So when you make positive changes in one area, it often has a positive impact on others.
Okay, we've talked about careers. Now, how about health and wellness?
Okay.
How does intentional living apply there?
If wellness is a core value, intentional living might mean prioritizing things like meal prepping healthy lunches,
Okay.
incorporating regular exercise into your week, and carving out time for relaxation and self-care.
So it's about nourishing your body with nutritious foods, moving your body in ways that feel good, and giving yourself permission to rest and recharge.
Exactly. It could also mean being more intentional about your sleep habits, finding healthy ways to manage stress, and cultivating a positive mindset.
It's about taking a holistic approach to your well-being and making choices that support your physical, mental, and emotional health.
And again, when you prioritize your well-being, it creates a strong foundation for everything else in your life. You have more energy, focus, and resilience to pursue your goals and connect with others.
All right, last but not least, let's talk about relationships. How can intentional living help us build stronger and more meaningful connections with the people we care about?
Intentional living in relationships is all about showing up authentically and being fully present with the people you care about.
Okay.
Instead of constantly checking your phone or letting your mind wander,
Right.
you make a conscious effort to truly listen and engage in meaningful conversations.
It's about putting down the distractions, making eye contact, really tuning in to what the other person is saying.
It's about making quality time a non-negotiable part of your life, whether it's a regular date night with your partner,
Okay.
a weekly family dinner, or even just a phone call with a friend who lives far away.
It's about weaving those connections into the fabric of your life, rather than treating them as an afterthought.
And it's about being mindful of your words and actions. Are you expressing your love and appreciation? Are you being supportive and encouraging?
It's about being aware of how you're impacting the people around you and ensuring your interactions align with your values.
Exactly. Intentional living in relationships is all about nurturing those connections and creating a sense of love, belonging, and mutual support.
It sounds like intentional living can truly revolutionize every aspect of our lives,
It really can.
from our careers and health to our relationships and overall well-being.
It's a powerful approach
Yeah,
to crafting a life that feels authentic
right.
and fulfilling.
Yeah, and remember, it's not about striving for perfection.
Absolutely not.
It's about making progress,
Yeah, taking small steps each day
little by little.
to align your actions with your values.
That's such an important point. Intentional living is a journey,
Yes.
not a destination.
Yeah, sure.
There will inevitably be times when we veer off course,
Oh, yeah.
and that's perfectly okay.
Of course.
The key is to just gently guide ourselves back
Right?
to those core values and make adjustments along the way.
You got it.
It's a continuous process
Yeah.
of learning, growing, and evolving.
Absolutely.
And the more we practice intentional living,
Yeah.
the more it becomes ingrained in who we are.
It becomes second nature.
As we wrap up this deep dive into intentional living, what's one key takeaway you hope our listeners will carry with them?
I hope they remember that they have the power
Yeah.
to design a life they truly love.
That's powerful,
It all starts with getting clear on those values
right?
and then making those conscious choices
Mhm.
that reflect what truly matters to them.
It's about taking ownership of our lives and creating a future that feels aligned with our authentic selves.
Exactly.
Well said. And remember, it's never too late to start,
Never.
no matter where you are on your journey. You can always choose to bring more intention into your life.
That's the beauty of it.
So to our listeners out there, we encourage you to take a moment
Yeah.
and reflect on what truly matters to you.
Think about it.
What's one small step you can take today to move closer to the life you envision.
You got this.
That's all for today's deep dive into intentional living. Thanks for joining us. And remember, you have the power to create a life you truly love. Until next time, be well and live intentionally.